Proudly sponsored by Music Go Round.
Hello, Charlie with Rock Unite, coming to you from an undisclosed location, maybe not so undisclosed to some of you from Albuquerque, but I'm proud to be hanging out here with my boys, Knucklez Deep. I'm going to send them around for introductions, and we're going to get into this.
Antonio Lujan, I go by JR, and I'm the drummer.
Robert Gonzalez, bassist.
Isaac Cadmio, guitar player.
I'm Richard Montano, vocals.
Cool. So here we are, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Beautiful day, as always, most of the time. If you're from the state, you know what I'm talking about. So the boys are glad enough to sit down with me and talk today. A little bit about Knucklez Deep. We're going to take it from the beginning. I believe you guys have been in the scene for about 3 years now, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, so I'll just take everybody back to the beginning and kind of we'll bring it up to speed to where we're at now.
All right, well, from the beginning, we started off just, as a garage band, just me, JR, and Isaac. And for a while there, we didn't think we were going to get out of the garage, but then we finally, one day, just got out, started playing shows and started hammering them out, got in the scene. It's our beginnings. We finally met Robert. He's been in and out of the band twice now. I think it's how it goes. Sometimes people get into fights and arguments, but we finally got together and it's ready to just take over.
Yeah, we've been in and out of the scene about 3 years. Been playing shows. We've played a lot of out-of-town shows, in-town shows. We finally got Robert back, and like Richard said, at first we were doing a little guitar stuff, a little experiment stuff. We had a few other bandmates that I want to name. Kiko's one of them, guy who came and helped us and to really get where we're at. Things happen. Things, want to give a shout out to his wife too. She actually gave us a lot of support and help. Robert came in and filled the big void, made our music 10 times, just put an edging on the cake, I guess you could say, and really made a sharp impact on what we're doing. Starting to get out there. We've been hit up by some agents from out of town. Really just trying to get the scene going with all the local bands and stuff, trying to show the love to everybody that showed love to us, and trying to get the metal scene in Albuquerque really together and get it strong. Everybody knows if we get that metal scene strong, then that bond with all the metal bands, we're really untouchable.
Awesome, yeah, and I think it's a pretty important message too. The talk about like the in and out kind of thing, and I think it forms like the brotherhood,
right?
That
Exactly.
You need the unity in a band, and then that maybe spreads out to the local scene, because that's what this rock and roll and this metal is all about, man. It's the unity of the whole dynamic, not just a couple people here and there. So
exactly, it's a lifestyle.
Exactly, So moving on, man. I mean, I know you guys got a lot of shows coming up real soon.
Right.
You guys want to plug some of those shows here in New Mexico and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we have our next show coming up. Is going to be actually, I believe, the 19th.
At Malarkey's.
At Malarkey's here in town, and then we have one the night right after that at Hooligans.
Right.
Well, Steve at Hooligans. I'd show the love for him.
Yeah, shout out to Steve
And,
Hooligans.
At the 20th, and then we have another one. It's going to be the
Soundstage one?
No, we have
It's Laguna on the 26th.
Yeah.
Buckfest. Shout out to
Bucktoberfest.
Bucktober. Shout out to the Laguna boys out there too.
Everybody in Laguna, thanks, Buck. Those guys always show us love every time we go out there. Really, really hospitable with people up there. And we also have another one at Soundstage.
Soundstage 41. I was talking to Charlie about that. That's a new spot where a lot of people don't know. It's a movie prop. It's ran by Hollywood, I believe.
Yeah.
And a bro of ours, Brock Salazar, plays in Gut Wrench. He's really got, he really hooks us up with that
band
spot.
Out of Espanola, really
out of Espanola. That band's really good. Shout out to those guys. Without that place, it's really propped up in there, and the movie set, and it's wonderful. We played there once before, and the way they just have it, the way it's all set up, it's great. Everybody needs to check that place. Oh yeah, and for a video too, I might add. Right.
Awesome.
Yep.
Maybe coming soon. You never know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, on. So one thing I definitely did want to touch base with you guys on is I know that you guys tour your butts off. You play different. You play different places in New Mexico, and I think that's an important thing to do. It's obviously important to play locally where you're at, where you're based out of. definitely, you know, hands down, that's one of the important things to do. But branching out, getting out in the state, you know, also, you know, that's something I've noticed about you guys playing other places, you know, which is awesome. I guess, you know, next step as far as touring, you guys looking to hit maybe some other states, you know, I mean, Texas, Colorado, New York, actually. New York.
Yeah, we're thinking about headed down to the East Coast. We got an offer from an undisclosed name. I don't want to throw his name out there, but you know, we're in talks with him about going to the East Coast, doing some stuff. Yeah, and you know, in state, I want to throw out too, like Juggernaut and Gallup and all these places. You know, all the places that we've been to, and we've been to Arizona. You know, a lot of these places in New Mexico. Texas. What we're trying to do, and we've played a lot in El Paso. You know, Texas. What we're trying to do in New Mexico is actually get a cycle of metal bands, you know, going through all these venues and making the scene, not just in Albuquerque but the state, real big, you know. And that's, you know, more or less, instead of trying to be selfish in our band trying to do it, we're trying to do it for the scene.
Absolutely.
And I agree with Isaac too. I mean, you know, we really want to keep tight with all these local bands here in New Mexico, you know, Espanola, Albuquerque. All these bands have gone out of their way to accommodate us and make sure that we're comfortable where we're playing, and you know, we're looking for these groups of bands like, you know, like Gutrich, for example, Dope Riddle, Manias, Method Blank. You know, they all have their own unique styles. They're not trying to be like anybody else or play what's in the scene right now. And you know, I think we embody kind of a unique sound that nobody else has, and it may not be exactly what's in, but I think it puts Albuquerque on the map, and we have all these other bands that kind of have their own unique sound as well. So I think we kind of want to project that image, you know, maybe give the 505 its own music scene.
No,
it's kind of start something. You never know.
Exactly. You know, and that's one of the things that I'm most fond of about the music scene here is the diversity. You know, and you know, you might go to another place and you hear, you know, oh, okay, I heard this band last week. I'm gonna go check out this new band, and it sounds just like that band. And that's something that I'm very fond of here in Albuquerque and New Mexico is you know, a lot of diversity with the bands and things of that nature. And also, you guys were talking about the unity with the bands. You know, that's something that's very important. You know, kudos to you guys for doing that, and all the other bands that are doing it as well, because, you know, you guys going out to New York and maybe hitting the road somewhere in the future, you know, forget about, you know, the people that you've helped or that, you know, that helped you, you know, so that's, you know, that's definitely a testament to what you guys are doing.
Well, right now we're in talks with a couple of venues, Arizona being one of them, and Las Vegas. Shout out to Chad from Hemlock for helping us with this and the places that he's played. Actually, we want to get 4 or 5 Albuquerque, New Mexico bands and hit the road with him and come back and, you know, and just represent, you know, everybody from New Mexico. You know, we know some other bands from Arizona, a lot of touring bands we've had that we've promoted. Actually, we've gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of info off them, how to do it. Actually, right now we're in the works of throwing a tour, but going all the way to New York and coming back. And along the road there, but we want to take, you know, 4 or 5 bands from New Mexico to do that.
No, I think that's the way to do it, man. You know, the solidarity and it's more of a group effort, man. You know, New Mexico invading or, you know, destroying America. You know, that would be pretty awesome, man.
Bringing the boys.
Absolutely. You know, so I mean, you see other bands from other states doing that. They might bring a couple of their state mates with them and whatnot. So I think that'd be a cool thing for Albuquerque, New Mexico to do too, man.
And we're a band that does not hate. We come just out of the blue, to come to the launch pad, the sunshine. You know, shout out to Steve again at Hooligans for having all the metal bands and keeping what we would say the metal alive and keeping a solid, you know, venue of metal. You know, give it up to Joe Anderson for the launch pad to do that over the years. You know, we go to shows that, you know, we recruit talent. Hey, you know, you guys want to do a show with this, and this. And all we're always trying to do is, like I was saying, and I don't want to repeat myself, but get the metal scene as tight as it could be. We want to bypass all the hate, all the bipartisan hate.
Absolutely.
You know,
a little political on you.
Yeah. we want to really, you know, we want to really sidestep all that.
The diplomat over here.
We want to really sidestep all that and you know, get everybody involved. You know, we love all the brothers down west when darkness falls. You know, Sleep Tastes Pretty. You know, a lot of those bands that we want to do stuff with, we want to bring them here, we want to go there. We just, you know, we want to get it strong here before we try to expand.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, I mean, we've got a lot of background on these guys. We've got a lot of info of what's going to be happening in the near future, what's happening right now.
New music coming soon too.
New music. That's what I was
Right.
like. It took the words out of my mouth. So yeah, what are we looking for on that, man? New like full-length album, or what do you guys got coming?
Yeah, we got a full-length album coming, and now that we have Robert on the bass, which is a phenomenal bass player, you know.
Put a new edge to the music.
Yes.
Yeah,
Really brought together.
Yeah, we're gonna get a full-length album. So, you know, 16, 20 songs. So each place we play, we're just not playing the same thing.
Sweet.
Picking 5, 6 songs out of the LP, doing those a different night. We're picking 5, 6 other songs. And you know, now that we've come down to an actual playlist with Robert, it's a whole lot easier when you have a professional bass player.
Absolutely.
And then you know, it's a constant rhythm, and it's easier for, you know, us three to do what we have to do.
That's cool. That's cool. So that's good news, man. Looking forward to this. Unfortunately, yours truly I have not caught you guys live yet.
Okay.
For whatever reason. Usually I'm fucking out of town. I don't know what the hell the problem is with that. But and it's not going to be a hard sell to me. I want to check you guys out,
Right.
obviously. You know, if somebody's never seen you guys before, how would you sell your band to them to get them to one show, to get you to come to see one show?
I'll answer that. If you want to come and just stand around, you know, that's cool. But I'm the kind of person, like, you know, especially it's my job, the front man. My job is to give you the fucking show, and I'm going to bring it to you. And there's really no one stopping me. So when you want to come to my show, want to see something and be a part of something, and, you know, actually be on the stage as well with me, then come to a Knucklez Deep show.
Yeah, we put on a show.
Brutal.
Brutal show. I would just explain it's brutal.
Brutal.
And you know, very entertaining.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Very entertaining.
I mean,
Brutal.
not to toot our own horns or anything, but you know, at the risk of sounding redundant, I think we bring a little something for everybody at our show. You know, I mean, whether it be metal, we have people who like hip hop that come watch us play. We have people that like you know, that like hair bands that come watch us play, and we seem to get compliments from everybody, which is definitely a good thing. And it definitely makes us feel good.
And I can attest to the music. You know, I haven't seen the live show yet, but I mean, I haven't heard, in all honesty, I haven't heard a negative thing. I've heard, why haven't you seen them yet? Get your ass out there, you know, and I will. It's going to happen. But listening to the music, you know, it really is. I mean, I think it covers, you know, like you said, you know, without sounding redundant, you know, hip hop, you know, hair bands, whatever. It's still, you guys have such a style of music, even with the brutality of it, man. It's still, I think it brings everyone in. I think that's a testament to what you guys are doing as performers and as musicians. So I can't wait personally. And if you get the chance, man, you know, listen to this interview again, hit up all these dates, hit up any of these dates. It'll be awesome.
I want to throw Santa Fe in there too. We got Warehouse 21 coming up, the Underground. Starting to do a lot of stuff in Santa Fe. Like I said, we're trying to hit different parts of the state to actually bring the metal scene alive.
Awesome. So this is maybe a two-part question, and towards the end of the interview. First of all, what is maybe the one biggest help to you guys as a band in the industry nowadays? Because we all know it's a lot different than it was 10, 15 years ago. I see it maybe as a little bit more difficult sometimes. Sometimes some people see it maybe it's easier with social media and everything like that. What to you guys, getting your music out there and getting your shows out there to people, what is maybe the one biggest help that you guys have had along the way?
The support of good brothers.
This guy right here, without a good manager and a good guy in the band who pushes us, and we want to be where we're at. This guy right here, man, it took us a long way. Me and him have played together since '03, and we've come a long way. And now we found these guys, and we're Knucklez Deep now, and we're not stopping. So
I think the biggest help that gets us out there, and not to be arrogant, is word of mouth. You know, besides social media, word of mouth. We've had shows where people show up and they're like, well, we've heard about you, this, and we're intrigued. We're like, really? You're a hip hop guy, and you're coming to our show?
We didn't even realize that word got that far, you know.
And you know, not to be arrogant too, but a lot of chicks that have no interest at all in metal, you know, they
come to our shows.
Yeah. So thank you, all you women. And we got to give a shout out to our manager too, John Hernandez today here.
Yeah, didn't make it.
He couldn't make it today. He's a really helping drive and what we do. Danetta Valdez, she was helping us, you know, really extremely. People that just believe in us, we want to give them love back. We want to give a shout out back, tell them thank you. But
Absolutely.
you know, without our manager John, and without basically word of mouth, and you know, I promote shows as well, so that helped out too.
Right on.
Yeah, without this guy, man, this guy does a lot for this band. I'll tell you that right now.
So it's everything.
So second part of that question, I guess, is what's the biggest hindrance? What's the biggest obstacle you guys have of trying to promote and get out there?
Oh my God.
Ourselves,
Just one.
ourselves.
I'll say.
Be candid, man.
One word.
I would say hate. I'm not gonna sidestep it.
Right.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
I think
Hate.
politics
Yeah,
rolls
there
into
you go.
hate and all that. Playing in such a small town, I mean, you have to be on good terms with everybody. You know, you have a lot of big fish in a small pond here, and you kind of want to make sure that even if somebody's being irrational, or if somebody's acting the fool, you just kind of got to take what people say with a grain of salt,
Right.
and just kind of move on and say, okay, yeah, whatever, you know, and be cool. And I think that's what it's all about, just being cool.
And we don't bring drama to the table either. You know, we somebody if it's obvious hate going on, which don't allow us to throw a show or to be on a show, we just, you know, like you said, we take it with a grain of salt and move on to the next one.
That's all you can do, man.
Sweet, man. So, man, this has been awesome, man. You know, thank you guys for coming out, man.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
set.
For having us.
Thank you.
And if it wasn't for you guys, I'll throw out,
Yep,
you know,
thank you guys.
Thank you guys
If it wasn't
so
for
much.
you guys doing what you do for bands, I don't know how important you guys, you know, you guys are very important to the scene. I don't know how important you guys know you are or not, but, you know, you guys are very important in the scene and keeping it alive, and, you know, kudos and you know,
I mean,
wow.
Much appreciated.
Well, honestly, without us going on too much about that's what the goal of this show is. And,
Right.
and my man here is representing Bleach Bangs too with the green too. By
I
the
should
way,
have done that, by the way.
Bleach Bangs Radio, by the way. But that's what this is all about. It's about the band. It's about the music. It's not about the drama. It's not about, oh, look at me, oh, look at us.
Yeah.
So, you know, thank you guys so much. One more thing.
505.
There you go. Anything last you guys want to put out there, websites or anything?
Yeah, check us out on Facebook, Knucklez Deep 505 Artists. We had a website, but you know, it's been dissected and this and that, so it's in the works.
Cool.
We had it mixed with promotions and band, and it just didn't work. So check us out on Facebook. Check out our band page. Check out the flyers upcoming.
That's Knuckles Deep with a Z, not an S.
Yeah, with a Z.
Z.
Cool, man. Well, once again, man, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, man, and we're gonna rock this, man.